Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula, and today we're talking about how to get your partner back, whether it's a man or a woman, but you can get your partner back. Now, as you know, I'm a Reiki master, NLP master, and I study Tantra for so long, Tantra systemic approach, so I can guarantee you can get your partner back very easily. Now, whether you will adjust to a new pattern, to a new way of thinking, that's different question, but you do get the partner, you can get the partner fast. Now I have another video, processing breakups feminine way. I do encourage you to watch it. I'm going to post it in the description of this video. Please do watch it. That video is also very important, especially if you really don't want to get your partner back, but you just want to close the relationship right and maybe move on, or maybe the particular partner is not in question. Maybe you just want to close the relationship and then see whether this partner will come back or another one. That video is also important, but this one is important if you are 100% sure you want this man or you want this woman, you are not ready to give up, and you can do that. Now this video will be good for anybody, for people who were in relationship for years and years and have 5 children and 2 houses, and also for somebody who just maybe had the relationship for 2 weeks. Why? Because we all develop differently, and the relationship might progress in a different speed. For example, every time I got married, it was very fast. Now, I know people who've been dating for years and years and years, and they are not ready to even move on to engagement. So everybody's development is different. If you think that you've been only for dating for a couple months and it's not as important, you might be mistaken. You might progress more than some people progress within like a couple years and see each other maybe once a week or so. I always say that it's really easy to get the partner back. Why? Because you technically don't have a relationship with another person. You have a relationship with the man inside of you, with your own masculinity, or if you're a man, with your own femininity. Now, because you have a relationship, certain relationship with your masculinity, there is a man outside who reflects that relationship. How else would you know what you need to work on if there is nobody to show you in the outside world? It's always like this. If you feel guilty, there will be punishment outside. If you feel like you're ready for love, there will be a man outside that would show you how would you feel when you're in love. So it's important to have partners in our life, is crucial. So because you have a relationship with yourself and not technically with some man, you can really just adjust the energy inside of you, and the man will resurface back to your life. It's not that hard. Now you will, once you will understand the concept, maybe you won't even want to have him back, or maybe you will not see a purpose of getting somebody back. I mean, there is millions of men around. You can move on to the next one, but I know some people are people of a habit, so they like to kind of to stay with the same person again and again. Now, why does relationship get sour? I mean, in the beginning you're so excited, you're happy to be with somebody, but at certain point you feel like the relationship are not at the place where they are, and usually that's when you break up. Why? Because in the beginning of relationship you're excited about those relationship. As the time progresses, you are not as excited. Because you're not as excited, the relationship become blah. Really, it's all inside of you, and outside only reflects what's inside of you. I guarantee you that. Try being excited about your relationship, and you will see your relationship will bloom with the new as fresh flowers. So now I always say that nobody can escape your life, and I hope you do understand that. Why is it so? Because we're connected energetically, and people come on a particular energy. Especially if you touch yourself with the hand, if you palm with the hand, you're connected to the person. Now with the man or with the woman, you've been intimate, so that makes you guys even more connected energetically. So a man or a woman that you want to bring back, they feel everything, they feel the energy. Now ideally you can nobody can escape your life unless you want them to, or it's needed for your higher development. Now, if a person is alive and well, you can bring that person back. Not necessarily a man or a woman, it could be anybody, your clients, maybe your friends, maybe your co-workers, or whoever. So whoever you want, you can summon that person back. Energetically, they will feel and they will reappear in your life. You can, you probably experience that. Sometimes you think about somebody and that person calls you next day and you haven't spoken like years. Or maybe you just looking through pictures and you remember the moment that you shared with somebody, and that person will reach out to you. So you don't really lose people in your life. You can bring them back at any time, unless it is needed for your higher development, obviously, and I will explain about that. So if you touch the person like this, or somehow that person will always feel you. Will not always, but for extensive period of time for sure. Now, with a man or woman that you were intimate, they will feel you for years and years, for at least 7 years. So don't you worry, the person is not going nowhere. You can always bring him or her back if you want to. I mean, it's up to you. The most usual scenario why people break up is usually when we get too comfortable with each other and we invade each other's space. So this is a man and a woman, and they meet at a particular energy level. And once they meet, they start getting comfortable with each other. So at first they just socialize, and then they get comfortable, and usually they start invading each other's space. Ideally, we shouldn't intersect more than 25%. But it doesn't usually happen like this. Usually we just all over each other. I mean, we become too comfortable with another person, and this is wrong. That's not how it's supposed to be. And if you work with me, I always tell you, don't get too comfortable with another person. Another person is only reflection. It's not really, it's not you. You should always stay within your aura. You should allow people into your aura, but never to the point that you are losing yourself. And that's exactly what happens when you are with another person like this. You don't know where the borders are. And if you didn't watch the video on the personal borders, please do it. We'll make it clear for you. So when you're like this, you already don't know where your borders are. Another person doesn't know where his or her borders are, and it becomes extremely confusing. You already don't belong to yourself. Another person doesn't belong to himself. I mean, it's like you're losing yourself, and at that moment your higher self will step in and will remove you from that person's presence and remove the person from your life. That is normal. If you are invested into something, that something will be removed from your life. This is how it is, because you could not depend on anybody. You are only depending on yourself. Now, what could it be? So for example, you are with the man. Ideally, this is how it should be. So you met together, you a little bit intersect, right? And then you grow. So he grows he develops himself, you develop yourself, and you guys growing together like this, and you just somewhat connecting together to create something, children ideally, but whatever happens in that creation. But you both have to grow individually, as two individuals. Now, but it doesn't always happen like this. Sometimes it happens that a man is focused on his career and the woman is pouring all her in his, and at one point he grows and he just separates from the woman because he doesn't want to be with her. You see, she's acting as a mother. She's giving all her energy to a man instead of developing. She is nurturing him, and no child wants to stay with his mother forever. So once he will grow, he will want to break up with her. Or, as I knew this couple, they were very happy at one point, and then the woman, she was more ambitious. We went to college together. That's how I know her. So she wanted to build a career. She wanted to study. She wanted to have a career, and her man supported her. He basically he worked. He paid for her college and for everything. And once she graduated from college and got a job, she started. So he basically poured everything. She wanted to break up with him because he invested too much of himself. He became like a father to her, and she already was not interested in him. Again, each of us has to develop separately, and we're just a little bit intersecting like this to create something. So this is how it happens. So if you are too invested in another person, you forget in yourself, you forget in your goals, your development. Your higher self will remove that person from your life. I'm telling you this happens all the time. If you're too invested in your job and you believe that without your job you would not survive, your higher self will make you lose the job, because this is not how it's supposed to be. You could not be walking on crunches all the time. You have to try to work yourself at one point. And or if you depend on your parents too much, there will be a way for them to distance from you. Maybe they would have to, I don't know, to move somewhere or something. So you could not depend on anybody. The same with children. If you're too invested in your children, you don't have a life, at one point your children will try to distance themselves from you. So let's imagine that's happened, and I mean, you guys just broke up. Another person is trying to protect their space. That's something that I should mention too. So when you invade another person's space and that person does not really ask for it, basically what happens is unconsciously the person feels like their energetic, like their aura is invaded. You see, unconsciously we always protect our energy space, and if somebody is too much in our energy space, whether we want it or not, whether it's our parents, children, partners, or whoever, will always protect our energy space because it's a threat. So this person will try to avoid the pressure that's coming from another person. That's what happens. Usually, sometimes women are like, I did everything for this man, he didn't appreciate. Well, you were too much in his space. I mean, how could he appreciate? He couldn't even breathe, and he wanted to protect the energy space of him. Now, how should you socialize? So ideally, it would never happen if you two would socialize on a particular level, and that level should be a god and a goddess. And yeah, I mean, it sounds a little too much, but just hear me out. It will make sense. So this is your man. This is you. And now you need to talk to him as he is a god, and behave as your goddess. Now, how do you talk to the god? How do you feel about the god? You go to church usually, and you tell the god very carefully. You don't blame, you don't shout, you don't scream. You very carefully say, I'm so grateful for what I have. I'm grateful that you are in my life. I'm grateful that you are present. I had some kind of difficulties. Could you help me with that? And then you live with faith that the God will basically help you with that. Now, you never think about, well, maybe God needs help. Maybe I need to do something for the God. Maybe I need to deserve something. No, you express your wish. You're grateful that God is in your life present. And you basically just trust that he will do what needs for you. But you don't depend on the God. I mean, you express your wish, but you kind of also do something to help yourself. It's not only in God's hands. So obviously, so talk to your man like this. Don't accuse him. Don't treat him as a little kid. Talk to him as he's the God now, but don't forget that you're the goddess. Ideally, if you would talk to a man as a god, he will also talk to you the same way. He will treat you the same way. And that's how it should be. And if you remember, in the beginning of relationship, that's how it is. When you start dating somebody, you're very careful with the person. You don't allow yourself to say something or express yourself somehow. You're very polite. You obviously see only the strengths in another person. And you try to show yourself from the best side, obviously, because you're a goddess, right? And that's how it is. Now, you don't take the God for granted, obviously. You're grateful that the God is in your life, so you shouldn't be taking your man for granted as well. Now, it keeps you and your man like this on the same level. You see, this is very important. And if you will tell me, well, Anastasia, it's hard and impossible. No, it's not. If you will go back to our grandparents' time, my grandparents lived together almost 60 years, one of them, and another one I didn't know that well, so I could not really be speaking for them. But the ones that lived 60 years, they treated each other just the same, just like that. My grandma had her own career. My grandfather has his own career. They were developing independently, but yet they had a family. They had 3 kids. So they basically, but they never were too much into each other's space. They had particular respect to each other until the day, you know, my grandfather passed away. But what I want to say is that my grandma would never assume to blame my grandfather. My grandfather also had a particular respect. He was jealous of her till his last day. I mean, because my grandma was, she did not depend on him. She was very independent. She had her own career, so he knew he can lose her. And she was beautiful, so he knew he can lose her at any time. She felt the same towards him because he was in the military. He was, you know, tall and dark and handsome, and that's how they live. They live just like that. And my parents the same way. Now my parents were both energy of air, so they both had their own lives, and they would just connect to raise us as kids. So again, I grew up with this level of respect. Now me, for some reason, I was not always like this. I treated men not always like I would want to, like I treat them now, honestly. And sometimes I would get too comfortable with them, or sometimes I would get not comfortable enough, and it was always awkward. I would feel sometimes that the man is higher than me and I need to deserve his love, or I would feel sometimes that the man is beneath me and I don't deserve, like my second husband. I always thought that I was above him, and I guess he felt it, so he moved on with his life. So anyways, now how to get the man back, right? That's why we're here. So getting the man back is easy. What is hard is creating new habits. These habits of socializing as God and Goddess. You see, if you're talking about God, you would never say, "Oh my, God doesn't clean after himself," or "God doesn't know how to do this," or something. You would never even dare to speak like that. This is the new habit that you would need to come up with for this relationship or for different ones. Still, it should be like that. And this is exactly what I put. You would need to create a new habit and get rid of the habits that drove your man away, and probably that you were too much in his space. This is for our generations, for new generations. I see it all the time. Two people are too much in each other's space. They go everywhere together, they do everything together, they check each other's phones. This is too much, it's not right. We develop separately. We could not, like, there must be some kind of freedom. So to get your man back, you need to neutralize the energy and then create a positive energy for him to want to come back. Usually, and I will tell you how to do this, because we're socialized energetically, the man will feel. He will feel that something is changing, and suddenly he will have this urge to call you, to wish you Merry Christmas or something like that. Happy Hanukkah. I'm not sure what you're celebrating, but still, this is what will be. So you need to and I put here, if you will just neutralize the energy, and that's what I'm teaching in Process Breakup in Feminine way, it might take forever for him to come back, because the energy is neutralized, but there is no actions towards. Now, if you will neutralize and create positive experience, the man will come back, because there is a desire to have him back in your life. You see, there's no desperation, it's a desire to have him back, and he will want to come back. If you neutralize, there won't be no hard feelings, but there won't be no moving forward either. Make sure that you do that and do all the steps, not only half of them. Now, also, your mind must understand why you bringing that man back. So if you have some kind of, if you are bringing that man back because you're spiteful, or because you want, like, with my second husband, I wanted him back so bad because it was my ego, basically. Everybody knew that we were married, and now he doesn't want to be with me. I mean, my ego was hurt, I wouldn't lie to you. But luckily he came back. Now I don't want him. But anyways, the point is that your mind must understand. Otherwise, you would act out of ego. You don't act out of ego. Your mind must understand that you want this man because you were happy with him, or because you you guys had a good time, or he was good for your development. It just maybe you understand your mistakes and you are ready to work on them. Because if your mind doesn't believe that it's right, it will not do anything to bring this man back. Your higher self will not do this. So you must understand why you're bringing this man back. If you're bringing him just because it's a project and you just want to see what it will work on, it's just a waste of focus and energy. Don't do that. Do it only if you really truly want him back. All right, so now to the steps. The first thing that you need to do, you need to understand that you guys are connected. That would bring your power back. You will feel powerful. You see, right now maybe you feel very weak, very that nothing depends on you, maybe something like that. Maybe you feel like, oh my God, what can I do? Like, I want you to understand that the power is in you. It's always in you. You're working with yourself, with your own reflection. It's up to you how you're going to change that reflection. It's not up to reflection to change. So just keep that in mind, that if you guys were intimate, you are energetically connected. And if you're a woman, you're the vessel of emotions and energy in your particular relationship. Whether you will be together or not, still you are that vessel. So it's up to you, and the man will come back. If you're a man and you want to get a woman back, it's also easy. Why? Because I don't know what kind of man you are. Maybe you have a lot of feminine energy, but still you can keep the right focus, the right energy, and the woman will be back. Now he will feel the energy, that your partner will feel the energy, and you will feel his energy as long as you are connected. And you need to make sure that the energy is pleasant, and he will want to come back. I mean, no man will say no to the energy that they once had, and it was so desirable. And if a man was with you, obviously it was desirable for him. So don't you worry about that. I want you to feel powerful right now before you will get to the next steps. Now, second step, what you need to do, you need to understand why you were in his space all the time. What was holding you in your space? So, for example, a man is building his career and you are helping him so much. You're always there for him. What is in there? I mean, no, your consciousness will not do it for somebody else. There is something in you. What was your ultimate goal? What are you afraid of? Like, were you afraid that if you will not help him, he will not share his success with you? Like, or do you believe that only he could have made this amount of money, and that you need him to to share this money with you? There must be something. So you need to find out why you, or for example, you're dating maybe for 3 weeks and you're constantly texting him, calling him, and you're afraid if you will not call him, then he will not call you. Like, what are the fears? What are you depending on with this particular man? Is it emotional support? Is it security? Is this entertainment? What are you afraid to lose if you lose him? There is always something. If somebody left your space, there is always something that you are depending too much on. That could be, I'm not sure. In my case, it was different things. It was emotional support when I was very masculine. It was security when I was masculine but not very successful. It was entertainment. Entertainment was very often when I didn't know what to do with myself. Like, for example, I didn't want to go out by myself, so I needed to have a man that would take me out all the time and entertain. Now, once you will understand what it is that you're so afraid to lose, you need to give it to yourself, or you need to have some kind of plan to give it to yourself. So, for example, if it's security and your man left and now you're here jobless and penniless, you need to start looking for a job, or the ways to get yourself some kind of income. Maybe your parents left you something, or maybe, I'm not sure, maybe you're passionate about something, or maybe you can even talk to the man and say, listen, you can't leave me like this, give me something. But you need to create that security for yourself. If it's an entertainment that you were relying on for a man, that's what I did. When I was relying for entertainment on my man, I basically created a plan of how I'm going to entertain myself. So I remember I was in couple groups. I used to go to some kind of yoga retreats or something. I'm not sure what it was, but still. And then I would go to a concert every month. It was like a goal. And I had a plan for myself. I had a plan of how I'm going to entertain myself. Now, once I start doing that, I suddenly got that man and another man that were happily entertaining me all the time. So you need to have the plan. You need to understand that your higher self removed that person from your life on purpose, so you can finally get a hold of your life and finally could do something with yourself, could create that security or something in your life or excitement that you need without the help of a man. Your inner man has to do it for you, you see. Now, once my inner man stepped in and like, okay, Anastasia, you don't need that guy, let me just fix it for you myself, the outside man start also offering me entertainment. So this is important. It is really, really crucial. Yeah, so I even put here, if you think that you cannot do it for yourself, you provide something for yourself, the universe, your higher self, helps you with your development and gets rid of somebody who you dependent on. That's how it works. It will always be like this. You could not depend on nobody. You start thinking somebody is better than you, and that's it. You will lose that person. Now, the second, so then what you need to do. The first one, you understand that the power is in you. The second one, you understand what you were dependent so much on. You see, when people say, oh no, I was just helping him out. No, come on, nobody is doing nothing, just of the kindness of their heart. They're doing, maybe they're serving another person because they believe that if they don't serve, the another person will not be with them or something like that. There is always a selfish reason. What is the selfish reason? Find it. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid to lose if you lose the guy? Now, you see, even when I was my second husband, it was not really, it was my ego, but for the most part, it was the security and peace of mind that I thought I had at that point. Now, I mean, I had to create it without him being there. I mean, I had to create it somehow myself. So then what you need to do, you need to understand that your man was just a helper in your development. He didn't mean to leave you. He didn't mean to hurt you. He didn't mean to use you or anything like that. So he is just a helper. He comes and does what you basically asking for, what your energy is asking for. You see, your man is not really is not a villain here, and you are not a villain either. You just need to understand this, and this will neutralize the energy. He only acting according to the progress of your development. That's exactly what I put here. Now, and since he is not a villain and you're not a villain, you're not feeling bad towards him and you're not blaming yourself for nothing. No matter what you said or did, if you cursed him out and now you're feeling guilty about that, no, you did what you did and that's it. Nobody's a villain. I guarantee you, in the world of energy, there is no villains. Everybody is neutral like that. There is no heroes, there is no villains. Everybody is neutral. Everybody becomes a hero or villain depending on your perception. In the world of energy, everything is neutral, every single thing. So, now, since you understand that he's not a villain and you're not a villain, right? It's just an energetic mishap that needs to be fixed, and you will fix it. You made it bad. You can fix it yourself. It's not that hard. Now you should feel some kind of like a neutral gratitude towards this man, no matter if he left you and or he kicked you out or he cheated on you or anything like that. You still need to neutralize the situation. So you should feel something like that towards him. I'm grateful that you were in my life. Thank you for showing me that I have something to develop, something to work on. I'm grateful that you were in my life. I do welcome you again if it's right for both of us. This is how you would talk to the God, right? You wouldn't come and open the door to the church with your feet and start shouting and screaming. No, you would come and say, listen, I do want to be rich. If you think it's right, make me rich, or something like that, right? So the same you would talk energetically to the man. This is how your perception towards the man, your feeling towards the man should be. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for the emotions, for the experiences that we shared. I'm grateful for that, and if it's right, I do welcome you to come back. Now, that's how we need to feel. So ideally, at this point, the man will start reaching out. He will start wanting to come back to your life. But if not, this is what you will do. Even if he will come back, this is another step that you should do. So once you will start feeling somewhat neutralized, you need to make sure that you wouldn't be feeling this kind of feelings. Sometimes when we're hurt, we become a little bitter and we start something like, I am better than him, I can't believe he didn't appreciate me, or I sacrificed my whole life for him and he didn't appreciate that, or I was with him through thin and thick and that's how he repaid me. Make sure there is no such feelings. That's nothing, whatever was in the past was in the past. Just because you did everything for him, I mean, he probably even didn't ask you, but you were kind of imposing on him. That's your problem. Make sure there is no such feelings. Now, usually, when you start feeling like this, you're putting yourself above another person. And energetically, you're not. You're just defending yourself. But in your mind, you're putting yourself above. And if you put yourself above, you become a parent. When you become a parent, another person becomes a child energetically, and no child wants to stay forever with the parent, because the child is a grown-up person, wants to be on their own. Now, on the other hand, make sure that you also don't have feelings, yeah, he's so much better than me, I didn't even deserve him, I can't believe he was even in my life, I can't believe he even looked at me. Make sure you don't have those feelings either, because at that point you become underneath him, you become a child. And he becomes a parent, and no parent wants to forever be with the child. Every grown-up person wants to be with the grown-up person energetically. So when you met that man or when you met that woman, energetically you matched. At some point there was the disbalance came. You need to fix the disbalance. So make sure you don't have none of those feelings. Not that you're above him, not that you're below him. There's nobody's below or above. If you guys met, you were matching. That's it. Now, once you will not have those feelings, and you will have a sincere kind of gratitude that he was in your life, that you welcome him if he wants to come back, if it's right for both of you, then this is what neutralize your what will neutralize your relationship, your energetic relationship. Even if you are not together and you feel, and you will tell me, Anastasia, we don't have no relationship. Energetically, you do have a relationship, and that would neutralize your relationship. Now, once you will neutralize the space, the next step will be you need to bring the positivity back, because you want the guy to want to come back, right? So this is what you will do. Make sure, though, it's truly neutralized. What you will start doing, you will start remembering the moments when you were happy together, when the man was really making you happy, when you were happy with him. Now, don't feel like, oh, it will never happen again. No, feel like, oh my God, it's a great moment. Like, for example, when I went to Spain, I mean, I enjoyed myself in Spain, but then I came back to New York. I mean, I didn't feel regret that I would never see Spain again. I mean, can buy a ticket and go back to Spain. It's not a problem. I was just reliving the moments because they were so amazing, honestly. Now, within like 3 months, I went back, well, not to Spain, but I still was traveling. So what I want to say is that this is how you need to feel. You need to kind of focus on the positive moments that you had with that man, and relive those moments again and again and again. No matter what your mind will say, your mind will try to protect you and tell you, no, but he's a bad person. No, focus only on the good, and the more you focus, the more positivity will start coming up into your mind, into your life, into this relationship. Now he will start feeling that there is no tightness in the relationship, there is no pressure. You are obviously respectful because now you're treating him as a god, and he will want to come back. He will feel it, and he will have this urge to reach out to you. Or even if he doesn't reach out, I mean, maybe he's energy of earth or something, then once you will reach out, he will gladly respond. Maybe you will send him, hey, happy birthday, thanks, thanks thanks for being an amazing part of my life. And he'll be like, oh my God, how have you been? And I miss you and this and that. Or we should have lunch together. So this is that's what you need to do. You need to start focusing on that more and more. I would say at least 15 minutes a day you need to focus on the good, because you have your life, right? For 15 minutes you need to really focus on how great you felt with your man, how it was amazing to be with your man. This will really move things forward. Now, if most of the time you're focusing on how bad he was, I mean, you would need to, I think it's kind of dark, you would need to make sure that you don't have those low kind of feelings. Make sure that you don't. So you neutralize, you're grateful that he was in life, you accept that he might come back or might not come back. Inside you know that he will come back, and then you just focus basically on that, but you give him a choice, but inside you basically focusing on the good things that you had, and he will come back. Honestly, I don't know anybody who did this and person didn't come back. And the more you focus on that, the more your mind will start looking for proof, energy will start adjusting, your man will start feeling it, and he will reach out. Now, he will be back at one point, and when he's back, you will obviously, because he's a familiar person, your old patterns will start kicking in. So for example, you know that he got that new job, and so you will start again acting as a mom. Well, how is your job? Is everything okay? That's where you getting a man back is easy. Changing the patterns is hard. So when you finally back with him, you guys having lunch, instead of you asking about his job or something, you should tell him, I miss your strong arms. I miss being in your strong arms. Like that. You should focus only on what a woman and man should be focusing on. You're creating something. You are not his mother. He is not your father. You are not his daughter. He is not your son. I mean, just focus on what a woman and man would talk about. You can tell him, I miss our Sundays together. I miss how we used to watch Netflix together. Like this. Don't ask him about his life. That's his life, his development. Remember his development. Don't tell about your life. It's your development. Don't involve the other world into your relationship with him. It's only you and him, and that's it. And talk only about on something that is intimate for you two. Don't complain. Don't sound too cheerful. I mean, you're a person that's developing. Now he's his own person, and you only connect like this. And if you stay like this, you will stay forever together. I'm telling you this. Once I start treating everybody like that, like little gods, I have no issues with people, honestly. Like with my clients, with my friends, with anybody, I talk to everybody like this. To my family, to my man. And they stay in my life forever. Why? Because I don't allow myself to overstep the boundaries. Like even with my clients, I mean, I obviously teach them something because they are my clients. They come to me for a reason, but I see the strengths in them, and I know that I teach them something, but they are very, very powerful and strong in something else, and I see the strengths in them, and I know that if I would need help in something, I could always reach out to them because they are strong, they have the strengths in them and something else. So anyways, this is what you need to make sure. You need to make sure that you have new patterns. This is the most important. I never seen anybody not getting their partner back. Everybody always gets their partner back. If you follow the steps, you will get the partner back, I guarantee you. Now, but I did see so many times when couples get back into the routine, and so it's the same routine, but somehow magically they expect a different results. That won't happen. So if you want to be if you want to have a different relationship, then you need to change the patterns, and the patterns should be according to a man is the god and I am a goddess. Now, if a man is a god, I mean, are you going to ask him how his work was? No, because it's really none of your business. I mean, you can ask him just out of politeness, but that's it. Don't pry. Don't try to snoop out some information out of him. You're goddess. I mean, really, this is what you're going to talk about? There's nothing else to talk about? There is. I mean, remember where you're standing. One more thing I do want to mention: while you're doing all this, you do have to have your own life. Remember, you separated because you were too much into somebody else's life. So you do need to continue with having your own life. Just because your man comes back and he supports you again doesn't mean that you shouldn't kind of have a plan for yourself. I mean, otherwise you will be dependent again, and you will be dependent, you will have fears of losing him. So you do have to have some kind of plan for your future. That happened with a friend of mine. She was a stay-at-home girlfriend and then wife, and I don't know what, something happened with her husband. I'm not as close to him as I was to him, and she doesn't really, thankfully, tell me much. But at one point he was basically on the verge of breaking up, and she was very scared because she had no work experience. She never worked, and she was lost. She didn't know what is she supposed to do, go to find a job or something. So that phase passed, and he was kind of back to normal. He was again also in that phase. He would not give her any kind of money. She was just like lost. She didn't know what to do now, and I know she borrowed some money from her parents. But that phase passed, and he was back to normal. But she didn't forget that, and she found herself some part-time job. And even though he was like, no, you don't need to do it, she was like, no, I do it for my own kind of peace of mind. And whatever she was making, she was just putting in her savings. So whatever it is, do it for yourself. So if you depend on your man for entertainment, whether your man wants it or not, entertain yourself as you want. So if you like to go to, let's say, to see ballet once in a while or some kind of concert, and your man doesn't care for that, okay, go with your friends or go by yourself. Don't depend on him for entertainment. So that won't create the pressure. All right, to sum it up, you can return anybody into your life very fast. It doesn't take that long. I mean, depending on your focus and your energy, but you can get a person back within a couple of days. I did it. It took me 30 minutes, and we fought really bad. But what I want to say at that time, it was like I had to prove myself something, and I already was a Reiki practitioner, so I wanted to kind of put like all my energy into this. Now, sometimes it takes a couple of weeks or so, but as long as you will keep the right focus and the right energy, the man will resurface. The woman too. Anybody will. It doesn't take that long. Now, what you should understand that the man or woman usually leaves your space because you becoming too dependent on them with everything. Now, the steps should be: you need to understand that the power is in you, that it's not up to another person to kind of grace you with their return. No, the power is in you. If it's right for your development, you will get that person back. You should keep that in mind. Now, then you must find out why you. So first of all, you need to explain to your mind why do you want that person back, because your mind needs to see a good reason for that. Then you need to find out what you're dependent from that person on. Like, what is it that holds you to that person? What are you afraid to lose? Once you will find out what it is, you need to give it to yourself, or at least make some kind of plan of how you're going to fix it. Now, then you need to understand that the man is just a helper in your development, and he didn't mean to hurt you, to leave you, to do anything bad. Just he's not a villain in the situation. You're not a villain in the situation. He's just a helper, basically. So don't blame him, don't blame yourself. Just basically have this kind of feeling towards him that thank you for showing me what I need to work on. I'm thankful that you were in my life. I'm welcoming you into my life if it's good for both of us, like that. This is it should be your feeling towards him. And make sure that you don't feel above him or below him. Make sure that you don't have something like, oh my God, he's too good for me, or I did everything for him and he didn't appreciate me. Nobody is below or above. You guys met on a certain level, so you match. Yeah, maybe one of you moved up or down, but if you want him back, you probably are on the same level. If you would move, let's say, up or down, you wouldn't want to be with that man again. Okay, so you don't have none of those feelings that would neutralize the space. Once you will neutralize the space, you need to bring the positivity back, so he will want to come. Because if you will just neutralize the space, it might take forever for him to come back, and you want him back now, right? So start bringing the positivity for at least 15 minutes a day. Sit and focus and feel, just feel great. Remember the situations when you guys were happy. Maybe he cooked dinner for you once and you were like, oh my god, he's so great. Or maybe he defended you I'm not sure where can a man these days defend you so much, but still he defended you when you had an argument with his mom or somebody. I'm not sure. So remember those moments, relive them, and just feel great about your relationship with him. And once he will at one point he will come back, he will reach out to you. So when he will reach out, don't act as an offended poor person. Act normal, like just act as if you would meet a god. I'm so happy that you reach out, I missed you, kind of like that. Now once you guys are back together, you need to make sure that you have the right patterns. Don't get like this again, like this. Focus on your life, move on with your life, he will move on with his life, and just enjoy the time that you have together. That's it. This is the most important problem, the new patterns. All right, that's it. Please do send this video to everybody who wants their partners back. Again, once your partner will come back, you might reconsider. You might think that maybe I don't need him back or something, but it would be a good practice. Like me, I brought a few of my partners back, well, some admirers really, but then I was like, okay, there was a reason why we're not together, why I didn't socialize with them. I want you to remember that. But it would be a good practice, because you will learn how to neutralize the energy around you. You will learn how to bring the excitement back, and that would help you in your next relationship. But if you know anybody who wants to get their partner back, please do send them this video. It will be useful. It will help them. A long time ago, I watched a video like this. I even took a whole course on how to get somebody back. There were a lot of unuseful information. There was a lot of useful information, but overall, as a Reiki master, as a NLP master, I will tell you this is what you need to do. This is like proof system, and it will help really fast to get your partner back. I appreciate your comments, likes. Please do follow me for more videos. If you have any ideas for new videos, please do send them. I will consider, and obviously I would, if it's in my competence, I will talk about them more. Now I will do another video on how to heal unhealthy relationship with the examples, and I think it would be in the next video. All right, bye everybody. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.